Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the 37th episode of the Cabrini Kid podcast. I'm your host, the champ himself, the Cabrini Kid, David Haywood. To my left, we have Mr. Perkins to you on Instagram. You can find him if you want to follow him. KP Perkins, what's good?
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Burr, 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 burr. What up? Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us tonight. So happy to be here. Thank you for joining us.
He got his North Carolina jersey on, even though that Duke is going to go first
Tar
in the
Heels.
draft.
I'm Tar Heeled out. I'm always Tar Heeled out. Always.
And then right beneath us, we have us joining us for the second week in a row. We have Miss Hilary Matthews, who reached out to join again. Thank you so much, Hilary, for popping back.
I'm in the inbox again.
In the inbox, wanted to get back on. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. So we're gonna start off with a video. We're gonna play the video. Hopefully everybody can hear it. I've seen the video already. Hilary has seen the video already. KP has not seen the video. So we're going to watch the video together, and then we're going to go from there, and we're going to talk about it. So let's see. Here goes the video.
So I went on a date today, and I'd like to tell you about this date because it's classic. We started speaking by phone. We've been talking for a week. We decided that we were going to go to a cafe today. And originally he wanted to go to a coffee spot. I'm not big on coffee. So he did the cafe. I get there first. And there's a wait. I put our name on there, but it was like a 45-minute wait. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to just be awkwardly sitting or standing here with him. And, kind of defeats the purpose of sitting down and kind of getting to know each other at a table. So we go to the restaurant next door and we get a table. He orders a coffee. I order a water. And then the waitress comes up and says, do you guys want anything? He said, oh, I already ate prior, but I hadn't eaten. So I needed something to eat. So I ordered myself a sandwich and, it took a little bit, but then the food comes. And prior to that, he'd been talking about all his cars. He just got a Lamborghini. He showed me the picture of the car. You know how when people deposit money into your accounts, you get the text message. So he just got $200,000 deposited into his checkings. Great for you. Nice to see. Whatever. Good. I don't really care. Good. Great. Whatever. So he's talking about all of this stuff. And it's, it's okay. Like, people like to speak about the things they have and the things they do. And that's great. I mean, I'm not big on that. So, but I don't mind. We're here. I'm getting to know you. So I'm eating my food and he's like, oh, those smell great. I was like, would you like a fry? So now he's eating the fries with me. And I'm fine with that because I'm like, sometimes when you see somebody else get food, you tend to get hungry. So I'm like, okay, he's fucking hungry. But now he's eating most of my fries. And I'm like, okay, would you like half of my sandwich? He said, no, stuff. So I asked him, does he want half of my sandwich? He said, no, I'm not that hungry. But yeah, you're eating all my fries. So, okay. So the lady comes, and at this point, I'm like, I'm just kind of ready to go. So I asked her for a box, and I asked for the check. So the check was placed in front of me, and the box was placed in front of him. So he grabs the check and hands me the box. So I put my food in there, and I said, how would you like to do this? Would you like to split it? I didn't know how much the bill was, but I was like, this is our first time meeting. I feel like, let me just be kind. Like I would do it for anybody anyways, but still. He goes, oh, no. I'll just pay for my coffee. His coffee was $4 and he gave me $5. So I look at the bill. The bill was $20.50. Mind you, when he pulled out all 5 ones, he also took out a $20 bill and gracefully put that motherfucker back in his wallet. And that's fine. He didn't even pay for the fucking tip. I was so pissed when I saw that the bill was $20.50 that the lady, our waitress, she ended up I gave her $30 on top of his $5, because I said, wow, he couldn't even pay $20.50, but you could brag about having $200K just being deposited, showing me your Lamborghini, your Tesla, your Mazda, your 2022 Bentley. I really felt bad about myself because I'm like, damn, this nigga really didn't want to pay $20 for a bill. I have gone on dates with men who turned out to be bums and they've paid the full tab. And you're bragging the whole date about everything that you have, and you couldn't pay $20.50 fucking cents.
So that's basically the video. She said she went on a date, and obviously she had this hiccup. My first impression was, and I feel like I've seen this shift in dating over the last, I want to say maybe like 3 or 5 years. I've seen this shift where guys don't want to take women out to dinner immediately. They're popping more for coffee, meet and greet, those type of interactions. Then I started noticing women say, I don't drink coffee. Because it's kind of a dog whistle to say, don't, if you're going to talk to me, you're not taking me out to coffee. You're taking me out to dinner, and you're spending more than 10, 15, 20 bucks to get my time. When I watched this video, my first impression was, well, he told you, let's go out for coffee, and you agreed, but then you decided to order food. So you still kind of forced or projected your will on him, and you paid for what he ordered. I don't think he was wrong. I don't think he was wrong. Do I think he was kind of petty? Yeah. But I don't think he was wrong.
Well, so I definitely think that dude was dead wrong. Dead wrong. Dead wrong. For one, he was wrong in... What's good, Vicky?
Vicky checking in. Vicky Clark checking in. She's gonna hopefully be a guest here soon in the next couple of weeks. Vicky says, "LOL."
Yeah, he was dead wrong. He was dead wrong. And you know how I feel about these particular topics. I'm pro almost the other way, but dude was dead wrong. For one, he was dead wrong in the fact that if he asked her out for coffee, whatever, he should have paid. And then two, he rolled out a 20 and he passed the 20 and picked up the 5. Like that's like some disrespectful stuff. Like, and then also, who's to say, if she was in, I think you mentioned she was in Atlanta, which is the city of the scammers.
Right.
Who's to say that he really was this and this and that? And who's to say that this $200,000 deposit was really real? Now, if she said that he showed me his bank account where his name was at the top and I saw the $200K deposit, then maybe that's more believable. But I can easily go with AI or anything like that, hack up some little bank account that looks like I just got added $2,000 in my $200,000 in my bank account too. So who's to say that's actually real? Maybe he was just stunting or flexing.
Right.
But then also you have to think about, this is an angle that most people won't think about as well. And this is just me keeping it a beam. Maybe he didn't think that she deserved to be paid for by the way that she looked, by the way that he interacted with her on the date, things of that nature. Maybe in his mind, He's like, she's not worthy of me paying for this $20 tab, so I'm gonna pay my half. I'm gonna pay my $5, and that's it. So he's dead wrong in my opinion.
But do you think he's wrong in the sense that he said, I want to take you for coffee. He invites you to go out for coffee. I want to take you for coffee. You agree to go for coffee and then order the whole menu when you get there.
The whole menu, she ordered a sandwich.
And fries, not coffee. No, I'm being facetious about it, but I'm saying he said, let's go out for coffee to get to know each other. And you don't order coffee. You order food off the menu, which clearly is obviously going to cost more than coffee. Is it okay if somebody says, hey, let's go out for ice cream? And you say, all right, cool. And you go out for ice cream, but you order ice cream and some snacks and some drinks and some whatever, blah, 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 blah. And now the bill is $50. When I invited you out for an ice cream cone, is he wrong for that?
Yeah, he's wrong. I think if you ask a woman out, whether it's coffee, okay, maybe this is just the way that I think in my bizarro world, in the mind of Keinon. If I ask a girl to coffee, which I don't, me personally, I don't drink coffee. I've maybe had coffee maybe 2 times in my life. So I would never ask the person to go to coffee unless they had smoothies there. But let's say, for instance, they had smoothies or whatever. Right. And she got there, she got her a smoothie, she got her an acai bowl, and she got her, maybe some oatmeal or a pastry. Cool. I would pay for that, regardless of what we originally thought, because what happens when, we actually do go to dinner? I mean, that may get me to the next, if we have good conversation, if the energy's good, then, there will be another meetup at some point, potentially.
Hilary, have you ever gone on has a guy ever asked you to go out for dinner? Well, first, before we get to that, shout out to Felix for checking in on the chat. Felix said he didn't like her like that. He probably saw her and was like on some F it. He ain't care.
Yep. I said that.
Probably.
What up, Felix? Stranger?
Felix said he been working. I saw him at the gym on this past weekend. He been working. He was excused. He got a little pass. He said he wasn't wrong, but probably could have paid, but he don't owe her. He didn't like her. Dude, come on. If she's whack, I won't pay or waste my time. I would just buy.
Yeah, you just gonna bounce? I mean, yeah, see, I know I'd be talking crazy on here sometimes, but no, I would never. I would have paid. I would have paid for sure. Like I told you, I think on the first date, a dude should pay 110% of the time on the first date.
Now, Hilary, let me ask you this: have you ever gone out on a date with a guy and ordered more dollar-wise than he did?
Yes. Yeah. I would. So there's a couple different things. There's a lot that I think that she's probably leaving out in the conversation. Like,
100%.
There's a lot missing in that story. One, if she was hungry and she knew she was going to have coffee, I've been told this a number of times where I get hangry when I'm to that point and eat before. She probably should have ate something beforehand, knowing that she was just going to have coffee. Also, I don't think that he was wrong. I think that he went in with the expectation of taking her to coffee. She chose to order her food. Me personally, I would have just paid the whole $20 and maybe use the $5, for his tip or something like that. But it's not, and it comes from the food whores, right? Like they're called food whores for a reason. They get these guys. They want it. They want them to take them out, buy them a bunch of food, and then
the dinner daddies. Dinner
yeah,
daddies.
I've never done it. But that's what they do, and they do it on purpose, and that's why guys have changed their perspective, changed their way of going about it, where they want to do the meet and greet and they want to do the coffee. They don't want to take you out for a dinner because they don't want to spend a couple $100s on somebody that's not going to last but a minute, and you probably ain't going to get no booty anyway. So yeah,
but do you feel like that is both sides, men and women, being stubborn? The guy saying, well, I'm not going to spend if it's not going to work out favorably for me. And the woman says, I'm not going to go unless you're spending X amount of dollars.
Well, I don't think that's the right attitude.
To a certain place.
I don't think that's the right attitude to have going in anyway on either side. I don't think you should go into it with those sort. Plus, if they were talking for a week before they met, I like to meet almost right away. I don't like to even talk for like a whole week before we even meet anyway. If I
that's
do
a long time.
That's kind of, and I've spent a lot of time talking to somebody when I've dated in the past, and it turns into nothing. So I kind of like to eliminate that whole process anyways.
You just want to get right to it.
Well, yeah, I want to meet, find out if there's any sort of attraction. If there is, and we can move forward. If there isn't, then it's done before it started.
Felix said, honestly, she should have paid for his little ass coffee and gotten mad points and probably been a wifey.
Yeah.
No, he's wrong, man. He's wrong, and then on top of that, he was eating half of her fries. Like,
well, that's another thing. See, maybe somebody should have ordered some more fries, because you know what I mean. She was getting mad that he was eating all of her fries, and that's where she went off the rails. I think, like, order some more. Like, he's clearly hungry.
But do you feel like she went into the data or the interaction? Well, let me put it this way. Let me pose it this way. In the week that they were talking, for him to be on the actual first date, showing her pictures of his cars, talking about his money, was he doing that during the week that they were talking? So she was expecting, oh, he got it. He gonna pay whatever. Because I'm sure he didn't show up on the date saying, hey, let me take you out to coffee, and then pulling up in a Lamborghini being like, oh, I got 5 on it. I'm sure during that week he was telling her, I'm doing this, I got this, I got that. And in her mind, she thinking, oh, well, he got it. Wherever we going, he got it. Did he set himself up for failure in that situation by stunting too hard?
You want to go first, KP, or you want me to go?
No, you can go ahead. I think he's wrong no matter what.
I think it also depends on when people are doing that, when they're giving all that information, I think it just kind of depends on what she's projecting into it. Also, that has a lot to do with it. Maybe he feels like he needs to impress her with his money. Maybe he feels like he needs to tell her all these things to maybe get her to like him. I'm not sure what was happening during that whole week, but I think you're right. I don't think that it was just that very moment when he decided to show her all these things.
Do you feel like it's even when it comes to who's setting that standard? When it comes to men versus women, I don't want to say versus, men and women. Do you think guys lead with their money, or do you think women establish a standard and says you have to have this to get my time? Like KP, like have you ever been communicating with a woman before you went out on a date with her and she said certain things that led you to believe I can't take her to a picnic on the first date? I got to take her to X, Y, and Z on the first date, because maybe she didn't say it explicitly, but she said, oh, last weekend, me and one of my friends, we went to Ocean 44. And the weekend before that, we were at Ocean Prime. And if in your mind, you're like, oh, I really want to take her on a picnic, but now I can't because the last 2 weekends she's been to these high-end places. I got to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah, no. I've never talked to a female that has dropped those kind of places. Do I know have I talked to females that like going to those type of places? Of course, but when it comes to the date, I'm pretty straightforward with letting them know that I'm in control of where we're going. I'll take input of like the things that you like to eat and the things that you like to do, but it's very rare that I will take someone on a 5-star dining like restaurant on a first date. I don't think I ever have on a first date before. I do other things.
So you've never taken a woman on a 5-star first date?
No, not to a 5-star restaurant. No, never. I mean, you can still take them to a nice restaurant. It doesn't have to be Mastro's, or it doesn't have to be Ocean 44 or Toka or anything like that. You can still take them to somewhere where you can have good conversation. Yeah, I don't go for those bougie girls that hang out there all the time. I mean, I may go for the bougie one-time girls, but I don't go for the bougie girls.
He said the bougie one time.
Yeah. When I say like bougie one time, like, I mean,
you went there on her birthday, not
like
things like that.
Special occasion. Yeah, they don't care about a maple and ash. They don't care about that. I don't go for those type of girls. Like, no.
When I think if they're saying though, sorry, go ahead.
Now the second or third date, if we're still vibing, I mean, that's totally a possibility. But first date, I never have. I try to be unique on the first date. Or I try to plan something that's fun, interactive, where I can get to know that person. Something that we're both engaged. Something, I try to plan stuff like that. So hopefully within that conversations leading up to that first date, I have a good grasp on that person and what that person likes to do and eat. And I try to plan, accordingly. Five-star.
I remember probably a couple of years ago, my guy Chuck, shout out to Chuck in Arizona, probably the leading real estate agent, Chuck Thirst, on Facebook. Y'all can go find him, the leading real estate agent in Arizona. I commented on one of his posts. He posted something about men and women, and I commented on it, and a girl said, well, guys never want to take me out. And I said, I'll take you out. Pick anywhere you want to go. I'll take you out. Money's no object. And she said, well, guys don't want to spend money, and guys, are always cheap with me. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's money's not an object. Pick anywhere you want to go. I'll take you out. She said, well, I want to go to Maple and Ash. I literally laughed out loud before I responded, because I'm like, if someone's telling you you can have anything you want, right? And I was hoping she didn't say certain names. But she said Maple and Ash. I was like, Maple and Ash is not even expensive like that. It's not. But if in your mind that's expensive to you, then that tells the guy what you're used to. Right? That tells the guy you're probably used to dudes taking you to Zips. And Maple and Ash for you would be expensive. And Maple and Ash is not expensive like that. Like if you go on a date, you might spend what, 120, right? That's not 200.
No, you're spending. It depends.
You might spend 150 at Maple and Ash, maybe 150.
Depends on what you're getting. If you're drinking, if you're
Here we go. We're gonna judge I love Zips.
That Zipperita is delicious.
Maple and Ash is not expensive like that. It's not like a Mastro's. Like you don't spend twice that at Mastro's probably, or Capitol Grill. Like if a girl,
I've never been to. I haven't been to. Huh?
Go ahead.
I've never been to Maple and Ash. I've never been to either one of those things. I'm not the. I've never been to bougie. I've been to Steak 44. I dated a guy that he took me out to nice restaurants, so I like it, but it's not something I'm used to. It's not something that I expect. That's not the expectation. I think that they're throwing those things out there that might be the expectation of what they're used to, what they want, and if you come back with something else, maybe that's not what they like, or I just went on a date to In-N-Out, and I'm totally fine with it.
Hey. Sign me up.
Give me a double and call it a day. Like I'm not that bougie.
Felix said, "I don't know these spots though. These are Arizona spots, Felix. You're not gonna know these. You're not gonna know these places." But do you feel like a guy who says, "Let me take you to In-N-Out," is setting the tone for what the rest of your relationship is gonna be like, as opposed to a guy who says,
"Chili's is your ceiling."
Yeah, that's the cat. That's where we're going. We're not going past that.
2 for 20. We're gonna start off on a 2 for 20. And we may be able to graduate from that. Do you feel like, as a woman, you want a guy to do more on the first date? I'm saying, like, whether or not you can get that, do you feel like you want that?
No, because I had that once, right? So I dated a guy. It was in 2023 for a whole, like a year and a half. We dated for a long time. And he started out there, right? Like that was where we went. We went to Hillstone. We went to State 44. We went to all the nice. I've never been to these restaurants. Like I'm not used to this sort of catering and behavior and things like that. So I liked it. I did like it, but then it tapered off, right? It started to get, well, I ain't got no money. You know what I mean? Like he projected that he had all this money.
Sustainable.
Right. It was not sustainable at all. And then 4 months in, it became, I was getting used to it. I was getting used to it. I liked it. I had never been a part of it. So I was getting used to this sort of treatment. And then it started to taper off. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Well, now all of a sudden he ain't got no money. Now all of a sudden things are falling apart. And so I think that if you create that expectation, I think that you're asking for trouble, especially if you can't sustain it. Because you do get used to it. And you do like, not that I was unhappy like after it stopped but I thought that it was deceiving that was the way he was building it up, and then it wasn't like that.
Jojo said the triple dipper be hitting. I don't know what that is.
It's like you get 3. I think it's like sliders and like an egg roll and like the chicken fingers or something like that.
Felix said, "Hey, Perkins, yo, that's your list of girls you smashing behind you. That's the whole baseball team lineup." KP, do you feel like as a guy, when you first meet a woman and you're having conversations and you're getting to know her, do you feel like you get a sense for, what's the way to say it? You get a sense for what she's used to. So if she's used to going to In-N-Out, Zips, those type of places, and you say, you know what, I want to show her a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take you to Hillstone, right? Do you feel like that is, huh?
Ain't nothing wrong with Hillstone.
but Hillstone is a step up from Zips.
Oh yeah, by far. Yeah.
Right. You know, do you feel like as a guy, you feel like an inclination to be like, oh, she's used to X. I want to take her to Y.
No, for sure. Especially if she's someone who hasn't, really experienced a lot of things or been to a lot of nice places. Yeah, I would definitely take her a step or two up the ladder for sure. Now, I wouldn't start her off, too high. I want to, I want to give her a chance to, small steps, But yeah, of course, like, there's, I mean, that's like a girl who doesn't really know how to dress, but she dates a guy who knows how to dress, and she ends up adapting a lot of his style, even though he spends a little bit. He doesn't have to wear like designer, but even though he spends a little bit more money on his clothes, she will eventually start to spend more money on her clothes to keep up with the Joneses to some degree. It's just natural. It's just natural instinct. So yeah, you want to level up. I mean, that's leveling up in a sense. So yeah, if I met someone and she's used to, In-N-Out, and I'll be like, poor baby, and then
she might be hungry. She might be hungry.
In-N-Out on a first date. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all about.
It was nice. I'm
all about not spending a lot of money. But In-N-Out on a first date is crazy.
We went to a movie. We went to a movie afterward. There was a burger and a movie. So I was solid.
Okay, so it was a whole experience.
Yeah, it wasn't just an In-N-Out. He said
Did he pay for the movie?
He paid for everything.
Okay, good.
Everything. Okay. I didn't take $1. He even let me keep the change for his 20. Well, I went to go get wine because you can drink at the movies, which is amazing. And I went to go give him his change. He said, keep it in case you want another one. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So is this person going to get a second? She was about to say no.
No, there's different reasons why. Listen. There's
the fact that you had to think about it.
That's not why. That's not why. The date was nice. Everything was nice. It went off the rails the next day.
Okay, so talk to us about
I asked him if he wanted. I know
what happened to make it go off
the next day, it was Mother's Day. Obviously, I'm a mother, so he thought I had plans, but I had told him early on that I didn't have any plans, and I was going to church, and that was it. And he said, well, I'm going to go to have lunch with my buddy, and then maybe I'll come over later. Like, okay, hours went by and things like that, and that's fine. And I said, what what time I said, what'd you guys have for lunch? This was like hours later. I said, what'd you guys have for lunch? And he said, oh, we didn't go yet. It was like 2:00. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, do you think you're going to be coming by? And he said, or I said, what time do you think you're going to come by? And he goes, I'm not coming. And I said, oh, okay. Well, what changed? Now, one of my friends thinks I'm totally wrong because, what I said. And he said, what do you mean nothing changed? I never said I was coming. I'm with my buddy. I'm talking about this, something. His mom died. He started telling me all kinds of things that were happening that I didn't know in the beginning. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. No big deal. I wasn't making a big deal. He was thinking I was getting upset that he wasn't coming. I wasn't upset. I just asked him, are you coming or are you not coming? Just let me know. I just like to know. And so he didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. Like I finally just said, okay. I stopped the conversation because he was all in his feelings and thinking I was upset. I'm not upset. And I said, okay, it was at 5:30. All the way to next day on Monday at 1:30, I finally was like, hey, so like, are we talking still? Like, what's happening? And he said that yesterday upset him. And I'm like, I'm not understanding, why did it upset you? And he said, I felt pressured that you wanted me to come over and that you wanted me, I can't be devoting all my time with you. And I'm like, first of all, pump the brakes. I didn't say anything. About you having to come over. Well, I was with my buddy and I felt like you were, pressuring me to do this thing. And I'm like, I wasn't pressured. I asked you a question, asked and answered. I did not say anything. Anyways, he kept making a whole big thing. And then he stopped talking to me again for a whole other day. And that was Tuesday. And so then Tuesday around 1:30 again, I was like, you know what? We're good. We don't need to keep these shenanigans going, because if you're going to get all in your feelings about something so simple and be all emotional about something. So to me, it was weird. I guess he felt a certain type of way about it, but I was like, yeah, we're okay. We don't need to pursue this. I got in and out in a movie.
So did he crack at any point?
Crack with what?
Crack you.
Oh, smash. Yeah. Before. He gave me a massage.
Oh, it was one of those massages. Gotcha. I've told to let me give you. I've said to let me give you a massage line a few times in my day too.
God, that sounds good. I don't even give a damn. I really don't.
So that happened prior to the In and Out and movie date.
Because he came over early on in the day. We watched The Karate Kid, did a massage, had it, and then we went on a date.
Oh, so this all happened on the same day.
It was a nice day.
Okay, so it
was a nice day. Listen.
Okay, so he probably.
And I have known him for a few years too, by the way, like 3 years. So it wasn't like, oh, I just met him off online and shit.
So it sounds like to me,
fair to me,
just from what you telling me about the story, what it sounds like to me is that he thought that you thought this was going to be a thing.
He was saying it was going to be a thing. He was.
Was this while he's cracking? While he's in the process of?
No, it wasn't like that. No, that was during like the movies. He was giving relationship, vibes, which I'm good. Like if you want to have a relationship or something like that, like he was giving off those vibes. But he was giving off those vibes years ago prior, because we had met in 22, and then he was going through it. Something was happening anyways. So then I met somebody else, and it didn't work out, and then we touched base again.
What's the relationship vibe?
He was not giving relationship vibes.
Yes, he was. He really was.
He was giving after he just fucked vibes.
No, he was giving those vibes before that. He was giving those vibes
in order to crack vibes.
Listen, first of all, I don't do anything I don't want to do, so it wasn't like something that like
No, we know you wanted to do it.
That was
clearly.
why I was
know
doing
that.
it to get into a relationship. That's not, you know what I mean?
But I'm saying I want you to mentally see. This is where like you either you must have liked him because you're trying to give him excuses. So when I say this, and I mean, you don't have to think about it like this way again. This could be just in my bizarro way of thinking. A lot of men maybe not think the way that I think. Mm-hmm. But you said that he was giving. Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
First of all,
that's what I'm saying.
It's possible. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that wasn't the reason why. I think that I don't know. I don't think that he wants to be in a relationship or even has any. I don't know. I at this point, no. And if that was the reason, then so be it.
In regards to afterwards, and you asking him if he's going to come over,
mm-hmm.
You said that he did say he was going to, or he never said that he was going to.
He said that he was going to lunch with his boy, and that maybe he would come over afterward.
Maybe.
Okay. Right.
Maybe he would come over.
Okay, let me ask you this question. And this is the same. This is another day, right?
Yes.
So let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have came over, would you have let him smash?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that, I know I'm not saying he was trying to hit it and quit it. I'm not saying he was trying to hit it and quit it, but do you think that by you asking him to come over, he probably thought, oh shit, maybe I overdid the whole relationship. Like,
yeah.
I laid it
on too thick.
1,000%. He fucked around and found out. Like, I'd be like, if you're gonna put off the relationship vibes with a woman, right? Like, you're giving off those relationship. And see, I don't get crazy. I'm not. It's not even.
Well, hold on. Sorry to interrupt.
You did once. You said you did once.
Huh?
You said you did last week.
Before, yes, I had done it before. Yes. I'm not saying I haven't.
But hold on. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you. But when David asked you the question, what is a relationship vibe? What did he do to make you feel as if a relationship was in his
imminent?
Yeah, what did he do? Was he just more affectionate, or like what did he say to make you feel that way?
He said that he wanted to be with me, and that he wanted to be together. Also,
oh yeah.
Then he said he said it.
I see what's going on here. So like he probably didn't expect to see you for a couple of days, so he's gonna leave you with that little. He's like,
"What you doing tomorrow?"
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't get crazy. I don't get all weird and in my feelings about it. If that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he chose to do, and that's how he chose to go about it, and this is just, I don't understand why men go to such lengths to just have sex. Like,
what?
It must be better for y'all than it is for us, because it's like
there's
he goes to the end of the earth for it. Like, who cares?
There's a few reasons. There's a few reasons, and and one of the biggest reasons
y'all don't even know what.
One of the biggest reasons, I think, diving into what you just asked, is because a lot of men, not most, but a lot, believe that if I tell her I just want to hook up with her from time to time, then she won't do it.
Facts.
Fair.
When in reality, if you told her the truth, she might still do it, because this is 2025 and women are a lot more liberal about what they're willing to do.
Be honest.
If you say, hey, I enjoy spending time with you. I'm not looking for a relationship, but I like the time that we have together. Can I see you next weekend? She probably will say yeah.
100%. And that's my point. He for me, I didn't get crazy. I'm saying, like, if you choose to go down this path with the wrong woman, she's gonna bust your windows out.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared.
You're lying because you don't know. You're not confident in that. If you told her the truth, what she would say.
But 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna go.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know
about 9 times out of 10.
I don't know about the 9
times out of 10. 7 times out of 10, most women are gonna say. Some women are gonna say that they want no part of that.
I think it depends on how you tell them.
And depends on where they're at in their life, in their relation, in what they want.
If you say, baby girl, I'm just trying to smash on the weekends, I ain't got no relationship in me, of course you're gonna say no.
Right.
But if you come to a real thoughtful, you say, hey, you placate her emotions a little bit, you pacify her a little bit. You got a better chance of her being like, well, you know what? I am looking for a boyfriend, but I haven't found one. But in the meantime, we'll see.
And she's gonna think there's a chance if you don't give it to her raw.
Women gonna always think it's a chance, though.
You're right, Oak.
You're right. It's
not a lie if you believe it. But that's like we talked about before on a prior episode. Women want to win. So if you tell a woman, I'm talking to 4 other girls, you're number 5, but I enjoy spending time with you. I'm not looking for a relationship. I like hanging out with you. We've gone out to dinner. We've gone on dates. We took a trip or 2. We had a great time. I like spending time with you, but I don't want to be in a relationship. You're being honest with her. But in her mind, if I do a little bit more, I can win. If I do just a little, if I just do a little bit more, if I answer his call, if I go over there, if I take him lunch to his job, if I do whatever, blah blah blah, I might be able to win.
We're competitive.
Women are competitive because the resources for them are more scarce than it is for guys.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this.
But it's not a. Y'all don't have a lot of options either these days.
Nah, you crazy.
Nah,
you crazy.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with these women too.
Still an option.
Still, I guess.
Still an option. If you say you as Hilary Matthews have as many options, if not more, but as many options as a 6'3" plus, in shape, gainfully employed, self-sufficient man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That I have just as many options as he does?
Yeah, because you just said is y'all don't have as many options out here as y'all think, and I'm assuming you're equating that to the options you have.
Okay, so you just said a 6'3", like he doesn't have options? Is that like, I'm not saying, okay, never mind.
Geneva just checked this. She said 5 other girls. That sounds tiring. Goodbye.
Who have 5 other girls?
Right, it's 4 other girls, and you're the 5th. But I'm saying, like, the market does not. The market is not predicated to women. The market is predicated to men. And if you are of a certain stature as a man, then you have way more options than
That's fair.
Than women do.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think women have more options than men.
If they compromise. If they compromise, like if a woman said, you know what, I like 6'5" black dudes, but I'm willing to settle for a 5'10" dude. Of course, you're gonna have more options.
But I think everyone compromises to some degree, don't you think? Yep. Everyone compromises with something to some degree in regards to their person.
Is that settling or is that compromising? Are you settling for something that you don't really want, or are you compromising? What are you compromise? Like, what are the compromises? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, well, call it settling then.
Felix said women have lots of options. They do, but for women to have a lot of options, that means that women have to compromise or settle on the things that they actually want, right? Because there's already more women in the world than men, right? The statistics say there's like 6 women to every guy or 7 women to every guy. That's not counting the guys that don't like women. That's not counting the guys that are in jail. That's not counting the guys that are married. It's just going off the numbers, right?
Yeah.
So it really could be 12 or 13 or 14 women for every guy, eligible, available guy, right? So a guy can have his pick, but a woman has to compromise, settle for, reevaluate the things that she wants, if that is that important to her to have to find a guy, because the competition is not on the guy's side. Like I don't like if me and KP went out, I don't have to compete with KP.
Most likely not, no.
It's all the women wherever we go out are all competing with themselves. You see what I'm saying? Like me and him are competing against each other. Felix says, so are you saying that we guys don't compromise? No, I think you do if you get to a point and if you're of a certain mind frame. But the guys who get to that mind frame are certain types of guys, right? Like you get to 40, you may not be where you want to be in your job. You may not be where you want to be physically. You may not be where you want to be, where you live or the things that you have. So you say, well, I'll take whatever I can get because I'm 40. That's the progression that a guy would have to go through to get to that point. Women, I'm assuming women probably go through the same mental progression to get to that point and say, you know what, I'm 40 years old. My body don't look like it used to. I live where I live. I work where I work. Here's the guys that are available to me. I want to find somebody, so I got to tailor my search to what's available.
That's fair, because homeboy that I was talking to, when he didn't even have his own place. Like, he didn't even have, like, there was the bare minimum, right? Like, there's...
Damn, but you let him crack? He have his own spot.
So who won? Did he compromise or did you compromise?
I'm total. Listen, it's not about winning or losing for me. That's the thing. Like, I won too. Like,
who compromised? Did he compromise or did you compromise?
I believe I did. I believe I did. I believe that
I think so, my friend.
Huh?
I think so.
I did. I compromised. I did. So I have the bare minimum, right? Your own car, your own place, you got a job, and you got to know how to cook, like something, because it's basic, you know, you got to know, I mean, you don't have to be a chef, but like, you got to be able to feed yourself. I believe that I compromised on where he lived, but there was a story behind where he lived. See, this is, and why he lived with them. And what the situation was. So then I'm over here being that dumb woman. Oh, it's fine. He's got a story, but not sustainable.
Damn, where are girls like you at?
It's not sustainable. It's not.
They're surprised, Arizona.
I guess.
I hear.
I guess.
Geneva said there are 102 men per 100 women per Google. That's not correct because she didn't.
No, she's Googling it.
She didn't put out the proper parameters.
Man, all I know is if I could take a girl to In-N-Out Smash and not have my own crib, that is crazy.
I hate you so much. Why do you have?
That is crazy.
You said take her to In-N-Out in a movie. Go kick it with my boy the next day. Probably spend more. Not have my own crib.
I was gonna come over here. Like that's that relationship, right? Like you're not always gonna go to dinners. It's not always gonna be. Those are gonna be date nights. Those are gonna be special occasions. Like I feel like
every night's not date night, right?
That's not every night's not date night. This is my opinion. I think that you should have sleepover for your first date. We're gonna find out if you snore, if you sleep with the fan on, if you have things going on in your house. I'm gonna bring my bag. I'm gonna come sleep over in your house. We don't have to have sex.
A night bag.
You got it. It's the no expectation because I did that once.
No, you're not sleeping in my bed. Ain't gonna be no expectation. Come on. Man.
First of all, I did that once. I went over.
You brought a bag. You know what it is.
Well, I went over to somebody's house and it was a whole situation. We did not have sex. And I did not want to talk to him ever again based on that criteria. Like no fan on. He offered me half his burrito. And I don't want that. I want my own food. But I came over. It was a whole thing. I came over. I thought we were eating. He's like, no, we were. And then he ended up ordering me wings, which was fine. And then I ended up spending the night because I had a couple drinks and they didn't want to drive. And he got mad that I stayed. And I'm like, it was a hot ass mess. And then he had no fan on. The AC wasn't blowing. He got up all pissed off. This is why I don't let people stay at my house. Like, dude, calm down. I was done. I was done after that. That's when I just.
Felix said massage time.
He didn't even give me a massage.
Baby, you looking a little tense.
He didn't even give me a massage. We were laying there. We had a couple drinks or whatever. And then he's like, do you care? Do you care if I take my pants off? He said, I like to be comfortable in my house. And I'm like, I guess this is what we're doing. I wasn't having sex with him. That's what he did. I did not. I didn't do anything. And then I ended up falling asleep.
That's not as bad as the thumb and the belly button.
The thumb and the belly button. I am in some weird ass situations. I have decided I put myself in some weird situations. Some weird situations that you can't make it up. You can't make it up.
That's wild. His boy took off his pants and you just
took off his pants.
And you just went to sleep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't do anything with it. I'm like, this is.
He wasn't mad about the AC.
Yeah,
he was mad about something else.
He was mad because I stayed there because he had some situations where women get crazy, right? Like if you let them know where your spot is and you don't know that woman, you know,
they could pop up.
They could pop up. They pop up. They show up at your house. You got kids and stuff like that. These women get crazy. I am not the one. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. So don't worry about that. But he was getting kind of worried, and he was, taking, he was on the defensive. I don't even think he wanted me to come over, but he invited me over. And all we did was talk.
And he took his pants off.
Yeah, he took his pants off because he wanted to be comfortable. Weird. The whole thing was weird.
So
You're like, David, I told you I have stories. They're stupid.
Yeah,
there's too many.
So if a guy takes his pants off, that's not a green light to you to say it's about to go down.
No, he was totally. He's like, I find it funny now to think about because
I just want room to be able to move freely.
What he said.
So when he was bottomless, was he on the inside or the outside of the bed?
We were on the couch.
He was giving you a massage on the couch.
No, he didn't massage me.
He was just like, "Can I take my pants off?"
Yeah.
What? What were you guys doing?
Watching a movie.
Oh, and then he was just like, "Can I take my pants off?"
Mm-hmm.
So he was just thing all out, sitting there on the couch.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't gonna do anything. I was not interested like that. I was not doing that.
So where were you? Like, were you sitting? Was his arm around you? Like, what was going on at this moment?
Well, I was laying on him, and we were watching a movie, and then he says he wanted to take.
He wanted you to sucky.
Yeah, I did not.
I wanted you to sucky.
This is probably why he woke up mad in the middle of the night because I didn't do any of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When he woke up, he wasn't mad about the AC.
I'm sure. I was pissed off. I needed air. I can't breathe. That's what made me think that we've got to have a sleepover. Like we've got to figure out those little things in the relationship because those are the day-to-days, right? Like those are the actual things like, how do you cook? How do you come home from work? Are you mad? Are you, you know what I mean? How do you act on a daily basis? I think that's more important than going to a fancy dinner or taking me here, or taking me there, doing this. But day to day, we go to work, we come home, we cook, we go to bed, we get up, we go. It's the same, day to day.
That's facts. I understand that. That's facts.
And then you go to date night.
I don't agree with that.
What? What?
How like why are you even thinking about those things for a first date?
I'm not thinking for first dates. Like
what do you think for past date?
Because I feel like
she's saying that she thinks that first dates should be sleepovers. And because of this and this and that, because of this and this and this and that, how a person does this and this and that. My question is, why are you even thinking about that for a first date and how that person does? Because you may not even get a second, depending on how it goes. Like,
I mean, but I think the answer to that is what we talked about last week is that women will go do things just to see. Right. Men already know. He already know that he already knew he was feeling you. You went to go see how you felt about him because you didn't know.
Mm-hmm. I had no intention of sleeping with him either. That was already decided for me.
Did you guys have any flirtatious talks?
I don't even remember now. I really don't. I mean, we had no, not really.
Felix said he probably mad he wasted a night with her and nothing happened at all. Day to day, y'all don't F. So that's what you showing him.
But that's what he said he wanted also, right? Like he was saying he didn't want to have sex. He didn't want to do any of that. So I'm following your lead.
You didn't want to have sex. Did you say that first or he said that first?
You celibate. Okay, that's what we're doing tonight then. Okay. Don't switch. Don't try to bait and switch. That's
but he was saying that to see if you was gonna pull it anyway.
No, I'm not going to. If you say that's what you want to do and that's what we're doing, then that's what we're doing. I'm not going to go off the rails of what you want.
So if he would have said that's what he wanted,
your wishes.
If he would have said that's what he wanted to do, you would have been in the game.
No, I didn't really want to sleep with him anyway. I didn't want to sleep with him.
Yeah, but you'll sleep with the dude who doesn't have his own place.
He was
the dude that doesn't have his own place won.
So
says, let's just chill tonight.
So
sometimes I wonder why I work, man. Why do I work?
Oak with the 3 laugh faces.
There's compromises all the time, right? Homeboy that didn't have a fan had a small child, like he had a 5-year-old. So I was compromising even going over there or even trying to get to know him because I typically do not date men.
Oh, the child was there when you was there.
No.
Oh, so that don't matter.
No. But I don't typically, because how do I say this? I don't just date. Like I'm not like a serial dater of like I do want a future with somebody. I do want to eventually be with someone long term. So I look for the future, which is where like he has a small kid, he's like 5. I don't really usually date men that have small children because my kids are grown. Like I don't need that sort of, I don't want to go through that process again. So I compromise by even continuing to talk to him. And I do this, I find myself doing this too much lately where I compromise on things that are deal breakers. And I don't think that I should be compromising on deal breakers. And that is one.
But do you feel like as a woman, not requiring more out of guys, and maybe this is going against the code because as a guy, you don't want a woman to tell you what you have to do to get in the door, right? But do you feel like as a woman, you don't require them to do more to get in the door? For instance, a guy taking you to In-N-Out. Where maybe if you said, I don't want to go to In-N-Out, let's go to Hillstone first, and there's a movie theater right across the street because we're already in Arcadia.
So,
and if you said, well, I don't really want to go to Hillstone because they don't have my type of food, maybe that's a red flag for you.
It's not though. Like for me, that's not me day to day. Like those are special occasions to me. Like
right, but that's date night. If you're talking about first night, date night.
Yeah. But technically that wasn't our first date. I don't even know. Yeah.
Y'all watched Karate Kid, you let him smash, and then y'all went out to eat afterwards.
I had a good time.
That's a big day.
I'm not regretful at all. So the thing is that like, yes, if I was upset or, you know, this was making me feel a certain type of way and I was disappointed in the situation, I'm not though. Like it is what it happened, whatever happened, and it and it didn't progress to anything. It's not him, it's not me, it's not meant to be. Like that's the way I see things anymore.
But you liked him.
We had I liked him. He's a nice guy. He had possible potential, but didn't work out. And that's okay.
If he had came to you from the get-go and just said, I'm just trying to smash, would you have been okay with just smashing?
Probably not. Probably.
And that's why dudes throw relationship vibes.
Probably.
Because he already knows she's not gonna be down for this.
But I wouldn't be like that with everything. You know what I mean? Like, but for him, probably not. Because I did see I think that's the difference. Like, I did see relationship in him, so I did not think that was. I didn't want that to be the option. You know, does that make sense? Like, I didn't.
But okay, let me ask you this: how could you see "quote unquote" relationship potential in him when you already let him smash?
We had a lot in common. Like prior to smashing.
But don't you think that because y'all already smashed, what's left?
What do you mean what's
You
left?
already crossed that bridge.
Yeah.
There's so much more in a relationship than just smashing. Like,
but I know, but maybe that's again. You didn't know his
when you're in a relationship.
Well, right, but we were building up to that point before that. There was a lot in common. We had a lot. See, I see different things in this. Like, I look for different things, like similar. Yeah. I look for different, similarities. Do we like the same movies? This is the day-to-day. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like the same kind of movies. If you like to watch the same kind of shows, if you like the same kind of foods, those kind of things is music. Those kind of things.
I wholeheartedly agree with everything that you're saying. But what I'm saying is, I'm sure you've heard in your history of womandom that some if you smash too soon, sometimes, I'm not saying in every case.
You're right.
Sometimes if you smash too soon, the dude lose interest, and it happens. Sometimes if you wait, that dude he learns to be invested in those things that you mentioned,
and he still lose interest.
He can still lose it for sure. But so I mean, of course, either way.
Chuck, this is my guy Chuck. I was talking about.
You don't want to know Chuck.
Chuck is the number one. Chuck is the number one realtor in Arizona. If you're in Arizona and you need a crib, hit up Chuck. Chuck Thirst.
I might hit you up one time, Chuck, because I need a house.
Chuck said, "Where did he take her the night he got the kitty?" He took her to In-N-Out Burger. Then they went to a movie.
He got the kitty before In-N-Out. Listen, like it wasn't
before In-N-Out. Before he even got her food, he got her.
How is that worse? Like, how is that worse? So what? Like, it wasn't even. It lasted about 3.5 seconds, so it wasn't even like.
Oh, now he lasted 3.5 seconds.
Now,
see, that ain't right. That ain't right.
Now wasn't worse. That wasn't that.
See, that ain't right, man.
She said it lasted 3.5 seconds, and you still hung out with him.
And still invited him over the next day.
I liked him. I did like him.
So even if it was 3.5 seconds, you still liked him and wanted to see him the next day.
Yeah. And In-N-Out movies, like I liked him. We had it's so much harder, I think, when you're trying to find somebody in a relationship to find all those other things. The same
Chuck said it was a setup. She said they watched the Karate Kid, the new one.
I love that. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. I think it's a lot harder to find all those things in a relationship versus just the sex or just the things like that. And that's more so what I'm looking for is the same interests and, being able to do stuff. Like I like to do stuff. I like to go places. I like to go out to dinners. I like to do things with your significant other. So I look for those things.
Yeah, your significant other. We're talking about first.
Yeah. You haven't gotten there yet.
That wasn't first. Significant other. I told you we knew each other for 3 years.
But you just went out on a first date.
Yes, technically yes. We never been on an actual date before.
Okay, so what does knowing each other prior have to do with the future? I mean, so you're thinking long term. I get it. You're thinking
long term. Right. Obviously, he's not thinking long, and that's okay too. Like if I guess we were not on the same page. We were not on the same page. We were not.
So that's what I'm saying. My question is, how could you expect for that person to think long term on the first date?
But he's not thinking that. But that's what I'm saying. Like he wasn't thinking that, or that's not what he was projecting. That's not what he was saying as far as just the first date. Like we had talked on and off.
He was saying more than
he had wanted to be more than that for that I can't stand you. Look, if I'm Boo Boo the Fool, then call me. Then that's what I am. It's fine. I'm okay with it. I live, I learn, I go through the motions, and that's what it is. It is, but I'm not duped. Like, I'm not upset. I'm not sad. I'm not crying about none of it. Like, it just is.
No, of course not. I mean, you got what you got some, he got some, but I mean, a part of you, I mean, don't get it to a part of you, even if it's just you put a little pin speck on a paper, a part of you is a little, you're a little disappointed.
Yeah, disappointment is a word that I use common a lot in 2025 when it comes to these sort of things. And I'm a big factor in how I end up in these situations. I'm not without fault or flaw. I should do things a lot differently. Trust me, my friends tell me all the time things that I should be doing differently. And
so do you think that you fall for, let's say, for instance, you meet a dude, he gets your number, you guys have conversations for a couple days before the quote unquote first date. Do you think you are someone to quote unquote fall for that person before you go out on a date with him? If everything aligns before you even meet them, do you think you're that kind of person who's like, oh my God, girl, I like him so much. He's going to be my boyfriend.
I used to be, not anymore. Not anymore. I don't do that. It sets you up for failure. I don't talk about anybody that I meet. I don't, even if I'm catching feelings or something, I don't ever tell nobody.
No, this just ended, Chuck. This just ended.
Is he still in? Oh, yeah, no.
He'll give her a couple days. He'll call back and hit her with a "What's up, big head?" And then he'll say, "What's up, big head? You want to go to Arby's and sit on the balcony?"
I heard they got the meats.
I heard they got the meats.
It's not gonna happen.
So
Are
you saying that he will never get it again?
Listen, and this is something, when a woman is done, she's done.
No,
there's no going back. That's me.
I don't believe that.
That's me. That's me. When I'm done, I'm done. When I have already decided that I've done moved on, and I'm not.
Every girl tells her friend group that.
I don't really have a whole friend group, so no, I don't do that. I don't tell them any. When I'm done, I'm done. That's the way I am. I don't know about other women. I can't speak for other women, but for the way I am.
I guarantee you, if he
do
something out there, he'll reel you back in. It might be like this.
He said 2%. No. No. Okay. I'm not doing that.
So are you saying that you would never hang out with him again, or you would never hook up with him again?
No, I never do anything either or, because he already showed me where he is in his
Yes.
That's a funny question.
Chuck putting the pieces together.
Yes. No, because for me, I would like something more from him that he obviously does not want. So I'm not going to pour in, and I'm not going to I'm not gonna do, because I already know that he doesn't want more than that from me. So if he comes back, it's just to get what he needs to get, and I'm not doing that. I don't do that. I'm not doing that.
KP, would you? And if you were a guy in a situation where a woman wanted you to do more, would you be resistant to doing more, or would you do the more she was asking you to do? Like if you've hung out with her a couple times, y'all have already been intimate, and she says, "We've gone in and out. We went to Zips. I want you to take me somewhere nice." Would you take her somewhere nice, or would you say, well?
No, I would totally take her somewhere nice. If if I was really into the girl. Now, if I'm not, then I may make up some excuses and go that route. But I mean, I had this. I had, in my time of being an adult, I have had a girl that, I liked. She liked me, and she didn't feel like I like doing things, which is not necessarily the case. I think I brought this up a week or two ago. It may not be where it's not that I don't like doing things. I may not necessarily want to do the things that you want to do.
Right.
Now, am I someone who is okay with doing the things that I don't really necessarily care about doing? 100%. But do I feel like I have to do those things that I don't want to do every single time? My mindset is if I know that my partner doesn't like XYZ, I'm probably not going to ask my partner to do XYZ because I know that they don't like it. That's just my mindset. I wouldn't get mad if they didn't want to go or they didn't have an investment in that particular thing that I like doing. And then I guess my mindset on the other hand is, why would my partner ask me to do something when they know that I don't necessarily like doing XYZ? But am I willing to break some of that sometimes? 100%. I'm willing to acquiesce for the person that, I like. But I think you have to if you're in a relationship. I really do think you have to. I think you have to acquiesce to what your partner wants to do. But let's say, for instance, if you guys are dating and, this person wants to go to a karaoke bar and I don't necessarily like karaoke or I don't like going to those type of places. I don't think that I may go every now and again, but I may not want to go every single time that she wants to go.
I love karaoke.
I'm not saying that I don't like karaoke.
I know, I'm just saying.
He don't want to do it all the time.
Yeah.
I get so excited. But I'll do that without my significant. You want to come. If you don't, that's my thing.
Right.
That's your thing. And
but do you so are both of you saying that it's more beneficial to find someone who only likes the things that you like?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Are you saying that you're looking for someone who has their own interests that you don't have or don't share? That you may be like, you know what? I've never been to a pickleball tournament, but she's super into pickleball. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go and support her in pickleball. Maybe I might even play it from time to time. Or are you saying, I'm super into basketball. I would rather find a girl who's all about basketball.
No, I'm the first one. I'd rather her have her interest and me support those interests. I would be totally into going to watch and play pickleball 100%. Now, if she's someone who's like big into concerts, I'm not really a big concert goer. Like, I'm not a big live music type of guy. I'm not saying that I wouldn't go to a good one, but when every concert comes in town and she wants to go, I'm just like, it's not really my jam. Do you have a girlfriend that you can go with? Like, that's what, that's how I feel about that.
Chuck says, so do you feel like you got to be in a relationship, or can it be a casual connection, light pressure, or is it all or nothing?
I think it depends on the female.
Yeah.
So you don't go into it knowing what you want, or are you playing off the energy she's giving you back?
I'm totally playing off the energy that she's giving me back. Like I said in previous episodes, I go into if I'm asking a girl out to dinner or on a date, I'm going into that interaction with the mindset of date 2, date 3, so on and so forth, a relationship. Now, like I've said in previous episodes before, sometimes on the railroad, they veer off to the couch. Sometimes they veer off to start dating. You know, so it just depends.
Mm-hmm. Hilary, have you seen people, or I'm not gonna say people, have you seen women post online on Facebook? And we're friends on Facebook, but have you seen women post on Facebook that says men aren't supposed to match the energy of women?
I think I did. I don't know that they're supposed to match our energy. I mean, as a male and a female, you're not really ever going to match the energy. Like, we're different. We're always going to be different. I don't think that men or women should match each other's energy. You can follow their lead, or you can follow what they're doing, or, you know, kind of see what their interests are and stuff like that. But I don't think that you should match their energy. We have roles as men and women, right? Like, there's roles in different areas, like basketball, right? There's a role, there's a center, there's a, you know, you got the point guard, you got your five, you got all your roles, you got your quarterback, you got your line, you got roles, right? Men and women have roles. So, and I think that's kind of where we've gone off the rails, where women and men, you know, think that women, I think it's more women think that men should be a certain way, or, you know, we should match their energy or something like it. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
So are you saying that you're a traditional woman?
I am. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's not that barefoot pregnant in the kitchen type, you know, situation, but I
mean, that's the only type.
You're funny.
There is no other type. That's the only type.
Well, we're more nurturing. Like, we're more, like, that's just our rules. And men are, you know, the providers, and they go out and you know, that's their role. That's our roles as men and women. And they feel like they need to provide, and they need to have this certain, you know, expectation as a man. And as women, we should let them, and not emasculate, you know, how their manhood. Like, you just shouldn't do that.
So do you feel like you should have a say-so in the relationship?
As pertaining to what, really?
Everything. Like the direction of the relationship, the level of intensity, the you know, the escalation, do you feel like the man should call the shots, or do you feel like you should have a say-so in the shots?
Depends on what we're talking about. Like, I mean, it just kind of depends on what we're talking about. Like, what is happening? So I got a baby oil, man. Can't stand him.
Chuck says, so if I got baby oil and man juice and wanted you to rub it on my nipples, be good or no diddy?
I mean, sure, why not? If you like to do that kind of stuff. I guess I miss. I don't know.
My thing is that, I guess my perspective is if you say you're a traditional woman, then you're agreeing that you don't have a say-so. If you're saying, I'm not a traditional woman, I want to have a say-so in my relationship, I want to have a say-so in the direction of it, and all the decisions that get made, then you're not a traditional woman. And I think that that's where a lot of the confusion is because a lot of women say, I want to have traditional values, but I want X, Y, and Z, and that is counterintuitive to those traditional values. So if you say, I want a man to take care of me, but I also want to have a say so in the decision making. Those two things
you can't do that.
You can't have both of those.
You can't have both things.
No, you can't. Like, you can't say, I want a man to pay for my dinner and pay the bills, but I want you to ask me what I want for dinner and the things that we do. It doesn't work that way. Those two things are antithetical to each other. So, and I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. I'm not saying that at all. For the people who watch this later, I'm not saying that one is right and one is wrong. I'm saying if you're a traditional woman and you're identifying as a traditional woman and you want certain things that are antithetical to that, that could be the issue.
Could be. I mean, well, I've been married twice, so I already know what I know. It's a lot.
He said, "Damn."
A little judgmental, KP. That was a little.
I'm just joking.
In there.
Crystal checking in. What's up, Crystal? Crystal said, I think you absolutely can have both things.
I mean, I think that if you're going on the traditional aspect of, yes, okay, so let's say you're talking about staying home, right? Like the woman is staying home and she's not working and he's working all day, and your role as the wife at home is you're taking care of the kids, you're cooking, you're cleaning. That's your job. Like that is your job.
Right.
His job is he's making the money. Now it just kind of depends on where you're at as far as like, is he making the decisions with all the money, or are you doing all the bills? But I think those are conversations you should still have, even being in the traditional role. It should not always just be one side or the other. Your partner in life. You're not, I rule everything and then you do this like that.
But that's what traditional, but that's what traditional was. It was the man worked, made all the money. The woman stayed home and took care of the house and the kids.
Yeah.
So you can't say, I want to have a traditional home, but I want X, Y, and Z, and I want to have input on A, B, and C while you do the things that traditional man does.
Yeah, but that even back then, that they were all having affairs and things like that too. So it wasn't, just that sort of situation. They were running everything, and the woman was just having to kind of like.
I mean, women weren't cheating. Women weren't cheating too.
I don't know. I don't know about all that.
Oh, so it was just it was just the men.
I don't know. I'm sure they were. Yeah, they were left at home by themselves, and who knows what was happening, and they were getting lonely. They were off with the military, whatever their situation was. They were, of course they were.
So the man was off defending the country, and the woman was like,
not literally. I married a guy, and he ended up. Well, he was in the military, and then he joined back. But anyway, they tell you when you get into the military, like the divorce rate is so freaking high because they're gone, they're off doing their things, and women require attention and affection and all those things, and then you're not there, so they go seek it somewhere else. I didn't do that. I did not have affairs or do anything like that. So I was very loyal to my husband's very, I guess, traditional. I mean, in some sense, I did work. I worked, I took care of the kids, I did everything for the household, did the bills, and and cooked and cleaned and did all those things. So for me, I was, aside from not working, I was the traditional wife. I mean, I had a mouth, I spoke up. So it wasn't.
Yeah, that's not traditional.
I work too, though. That's the difference, though. Like if you're like, I'm working too, so yeah, I have to have a say as to what happens at the house and the bills and things like that, because my money's going in there too.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's where things got non-traditional.
Well, yeah, we had to go to work. Somebody decided that women should go to work. I'd like to fight them because I don't want to work. I don't want to go to work. Somebody.
So you would be cool going back to 1930, where women didn't have rights and just stayed at home.
I don't know about not having. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about my sister-in-law.
Nah, you can't parse it. It's take a little bit or take a lot. You want the rights?
I don't vote. I don't vote, so I don't care, and I don't really want to work anymore. I'm tired. So sure, fine. I'll stay home. I'll cook. I'll do all the things.
Wait, you say you don't vote?
I don't vote. I didn't vote in the last. I know it's controversial. My sister.
Have you ever voted?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I voted. I just don't vote anymore.
When was the last time you voted?
It was 2016. I think that was actually the first time I did vote. Was 2016, and last. See what happened. I chose not to vote this time. I'll do like in the primaries, like the states, but I don't really like to vote on the federal level.
Interesting.
And that's one thing I said about this podcast. I was like, I really don't want to get.
It's a controversial topic.
It's very polarizing. I feel like there is going to be a time when we need to have an episode about politics. I feel like we're going to have to go there at some point. But it's interesting. It's just interesting to me that people, every 4 years will say, "Nah, I'm gonna sit this one out," or every 2 years, or every year, or every whatever comes around in their county or whatever. So, no matter what side you're on, that people don't participate.
I don't feel like I educate myself enough about politics and about the people that I'm voting for to vote. I don't think I know enough about what they're standing for to vote. I don't think the average person does. I don't think that they do their due diligence and their research and understanding the why am I forgetting what they are? That's why I don't vote. I don't think they do their research on what they're voting for. They just hear whatever social media is telling them, whatever news channels are telling them. You got to vote red, you got to vote blue. I don't think they do the research on the laws the laws. That's the simple word that I was looking for, on what they're voting for.
Right.
And so I just don't feel like I'm educated enough in that department to vote on those things.
No, I understand that. And I think that's a huge call out. Knowing that's a huge call out, knowing that you're not educated enough on the issues to cast a vote. Because I think a lot of people vote blindly on both sides. On both sides. So
yeah. It's unfortunate, but that's where we're at.
Yeah. Chuck said, "What is a great thing to have when approaching you for the first time?"
For you or everybody. KP, where are you at?
I'm like, as a guy, and I think me and KP have aligned on this before, is confidence. Because whether you are a woman who is like super fit, or a woman who is not, or a woman who has a great job, or a woman who doesn't, or a woman who has an amazing outfit, or one who's super dressed down, your confidence says a lot. How you carry yourself says a lot.
Mhm.
And I think that will overcome a lot of things. Like KP said, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but when he said he was entertaining a woman at the bar that he normally probably wouldn't have talked to, it's because of how she carried herself. Right? And so I think that women don't really ever have to worry about getting turned down. And so it's easier for women to be confident. But if you are genuinely a confident woman, you carry yourself well, and you believe in the things that are coming that you're saying, I think that goes a long way into getting you in the door. And then be willing to take a chance. I think that a lot of people are afraid of taking a chance. But if you found a creative way to go up to a dude and you came across very genuine and very confidently, he would probably entertain it. He would probably entertain it. A lot of dudes are not going to say no, especially if you feel like it's a green light. So
I don't know, man. I get turned down a lot. I do. I do. I went out with my homegirl like 3 weeks ago or whatever, and I got turned down. Huh?
Shoot or shoot.
I went out and 3 times I got turned down, and I went back to her and I was like, I don't think I have it anymore. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening right now. But I don't have it tonight.
That's because women don't ever think they're not great.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. I
like you would never go on and be like
I think
you would never go.
You
would
so.
If it's a Friday night and you and your girl are getting ready and y'all about to go out, you would never say,
I ain't shit.
I look like shit tonight. I ain't shit. I look like, you know what? I ain't gonna get no play tonight. No woman would ever say that. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Until you're in that spot, and then you're like, damn, maybe I ain't shit.
That's because it smacked you in the face that night.
It's okay. Yeah, and I was okay. Like something was, maybe it was what I was wearing. Maybe I don't know what was happening, but it was not happening.
You ain't have you just didn't have it that night.
I did not.
So do you think that you were shooting above your you know, like above your, like, you know how they say you outkick your coverage, where you're shooting above, like, were you going for dudes that you don't think that would normally go after you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It was something I was giving off. It was something I was doing. Like it was, yeah, it was just something that I don't know. Maybe it was what I was wearing. Like I wasn't in my, I don't know what. I have no idea.
What would you say is your like closing percentage? If you talk to 10 random dudes, how many of them do you think you could close out of 10 dudes?
7.
70%?
7.
What's closing? What's closing to you mean?
Get a number. Like,
okay.
At least get a number. Yeah, 70%. And it could be those dudes.
Yeah, I'd say if you could at least get their phone number.
Yeah, it could be those girls had girlfriend. There could be a lot of different factors. Like it may not have just been me. I don't always, I just look at, it's just not what?
I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was just me. They could have had girlfriends. They could have had a girl there. I think one guy did have a girlfriend, so it could have been those situations. But she wasn't there, or maybe she was there at some point. Like I don't take it personal.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just.
But do you go after dudes that? Do you ever see a dude and be like, no, I can never pull.
Yeah.
I can never. Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Yeah. They're intimidating. It's intimidating. It's too much. Like,
so you go after men who come off as less confident?
No, I go after confident men, but if I feel like if I know, like I know that is not my play, like I am not I bet when I'm sure and right, and I am not gonna go in to completely.
But what makes that person that for you? Like what makes them you think that they are that for you? Like what
like too much sauce. Like he just got too much
swag. Like they're just too like. So I'm a jeans and t-shirt girl, right? Like I don't have much style. Like I have a horrible wardrobe. Like my game is not on point. I probably have the same shoes for the last 3 years. Like I'm not that girl. Like I'm not fancy. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't do a lot of. I do my nails and I do my toes. Like I keep it all clean. Like that's the thing. But I'm very natural person, but I don't really do myself up. So when I see a guy that is carrying himself where he's dressing, real fancy, real nice, and a nicer, like more,
nicer get up.
Yeah, he's got that kind of style. I'm not probably going. Although if I've been drinking enough, I probably would. If I got a little more confident, I'd probably be like, you know what?
I might still shoot.
We're doing this. Hold my beer. I'm going. but just regular standard, no, probably not. Like I wouldn't do it.
KP, when was the last time you saw a girl you're just like, there's no way I could get that? At least a number. There's no way I could at least get her phone number. Not her ID, because she give that out to everybody.
Yeah, I'd probably say every weekend, every time I go out, there's at least.
Really?
There's at least like one time or two females. I'm like, nah, I probably can even get her number even if I try it. Now, who knows? I could try, but I'm not one of those. I shoot, but I know where I'm shooting. And so
that's what I'm saying.
I'm shooting for those 7s and 8s. I'm not shooting. No, the sure things are the 5s and the 6s. Those are the sure things. I'm not shooting at too many 10s unless height isn't a big deal for me because I'm a pretty tall guy. So most women are going to be short. So I'm a teeth guy. I love a nice set of teeth on a female. Great smile. That's huge. But height isn't a big deal. I don't care if she's 5 feet, 5'1".
Oh, he said, Champ, what's the best date night you've been on? Man, I don't know if I would say the best, but the craziest date night I went on was I went out on a date. We went to Old Town and we went to Geisha, and afterwards she said, "You want to walk around? Let's get a coffee and walk around." So we walked around Old Town and we looked at some of like the art galleries and stuff like that. And then we were walking back west on Camelback, and somehow we were walking into that complex that's right behind PF Chang's. And the parking attendant was like, "Hey, do you guys have a car down here?" We said, "No, we don't have a car down here." And he goes, "Well, there's some pretty high-end cars down here. Do you want to come walk down and take a look?" We're like, "Sure." So we walk down, and the parking attendant's like, "That car's worth like $1 million. That car's worth like $2 million." And we're like looking at the cars and like, "Man, that's crazy." And he was like, "You guys want to go up on the roof?" We're like, "Well, what's up on the roof?" He goes, "Well, the penthouse is owned by Oprah Winfrey, but next to the penthouse is the pool, and you can overlook like Camelback and all this stuff." He's like, "I'll let you guys up there. There's no problem." And so we went up there, and it was just a crazy night because it was just like bam, 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 like all these things. And so I feel like the best date nights are the ones that aren't planned, right? Like the best date nights you have are spontaneous, and one thing leads to another, and then there's another thing, and then there's another thing, and then by the end of the night, you're like, "Wow, we spent 3, 4, 5 hours together. All we had planned was coffee, but we've got to see all these things and hang out." Like those are the best nights. Like I think that there's a lot of deprogramming that goes into experiences like that, because as men, you're taught that you have to go to her house, pick her up, take her to dinner, drive her back home, kiss her on the cheek. Like that's what you're kind of programmed into thinking what you have to do. And that's not, as you get older, you realize that's not the case. You realize that's not the case. Like I think women love spontaneity. Women love being able to do things on the cuff. Long as you can afford to do it, women love being able to do things on the cuff. You say, "Hey, can I just get you for tonight? And let's go wherever the night takes us." That's going to be the best night of her week. Now, if you say, "Hey, I'm going to take you to In and Out, and then we're going to go watch."
See, that's some bullshit.
You're going to be like, "Oh, okay."
I did watch Sinners. That was the movie I watched.
Right. I already know. Geneva said, "Damn, he had the best night with her." I didn't say the best. I said the craziest. I didn't say the best. Chuck said, "Queen Snow, I can't see your name. What is the ideal?" He said, "I can't. What is your ideal date night and ending to it?"
Did he call me Queen?
Queen Snow is wild, yo.
What?
That is wild. Queen Snow.
Wait. His question was, it's got my name now.
He said, "What is your ideal date night and ending to it?"
It's Hilary.
Yes. Hi. My ideal date night. Man. I don't know if I even have an ideal date night. I like simple. I don't know. I always hate this kind of question because I don't really have an ideal date night. I think it's just the company that you keep in what you're doing. Funny.
Chuck trying to sell you a house or something else.
He's trying to sell me all his stuff.
I don't know what's going on right now.
I don't know. I don't know what my ideal. I mean, I've been on all kinds of dates. I've been to fancy dinners. I've been to obviously In-N-Out and then the movies. And I guess not.
Hey, where's the fanciest place you've been in Arizona for a first date?
A first date?
Yeah.
Hillstone.
Okay. So how about in general? Like on a date? Yeah, where's the fanciest place you've ever been?
Well, I was State 44.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember this one time I was gonna go out on a date, and I asked her if she wanted to go out for a burger. She said yeah. And I lived right next to the Princess on Scottsdale, like North Scottsdale. And I typed in my phone hamburgers. And it popped up Capitol Grill. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a cool place. Capitol Grill, they got hamburgers. Cool. I put on a hat, t-shirt, jeans, Air Max. I literally walked 2 blocks to Capitol Grill. I walk in, and the guy says, "Sir, can I take your hat?" And I'm like, damn, this ain't that kind of place. And as I said, as she walked in, she had on a black dress. I was like, damn. So we go sit down. She got on the black dress, had little sparkles in it. I got on a t-shirt, literally a t-shirt, jeans. And she was like, you didn't know what kind of place this was, did you? I was like,
yeah, nah. Google, my brother.
I was like, nah, I didn't. I looked up hamburgers and it said Capitol Grill had hamburgers.
Damn.
So I thought of my ideal date. I had to think about it. Like miniature golf or bowling, something fun, something that you can do with somebody. Like not just sitting in a movie, not just dinner, not just that kind of stuff, but just like fun stuff that you can do. I like to do that kind of thing. That would be my idea. And the ending to it?
3.5 seconds.
Obvious. The 3.5 seconds, obvious. No, that's the beginning of the date.
She said start out with that, so everything else is
apparently,
just
if that's the beginning of the date, why go on the date? Shit,
I was hungry and I wanted to go see that movie. Listen here, if you, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but yeah, it was a decent movie. Who Michael B. Jordan?
What's the point of going on a date?
We're Netflix and chilling after that.
I already did that.
He said we're not going out after
that. I'm gonna see how much more of this lemon I can squeeze before I spend some money on.
He said we're not going out after that.
Nothing.
I mean, I'm just giving you the mindset of some men out there. That's
well, if
you got your dessert before dinner, the dinner might not taste as good.
Yeah.
But if you're wanting a relation, like consistency, you're going to continue to get that part of it. Like you're going to continue to get all the dessert that you desire. You ain't just going to get
if it's that good, yeah.
For who?
If it's that good to the guy, yeah.
If it has to be good for me too. Like it's not going to be like I gotta. Yeah, it's yeah.
But he don't know if it's that good for you.
That 3.5 seconds, it was good for him. Who cares what?
It obviously was.
He probably don't care what you got.
More, so that's why I was like, well, let's get into a relationship because I gotta have some more because this ain't enough.
And he was like, not it.
Nope. Not the one.
She said, what you doing tomorrow? He's like, excuse me?
He's like, I'm good. I'm good. Are you? Because I'm not.
Excuse me, you already let me hit. What?
My fault.
You didn't sign up for the next day plan.
Guess not.
Yeah, she didn't sign up for the next day plan. She definitely didn't.
Guess not.
You subscribe to the twice in a 7-day period plan.
So sad. It's really sad because like you get into that point where you want to be in a relationship and then you think you meet somebody that wants those same things and then it turns into nothing. And so it is disappointing Because if you do like that person and then they don't, you know what I mean? It is disappointing. It is sad, especially if you're not just serial dating because I'm not serial dating. I did get back on the app for fun, just for some research and some stories. And trust me,
some research.
Just research, just fun, just to see what's happening. Also, if you do meet somebody, that's a bonus. But there's some things happening out there that I don't even know if I want to be a part of. So it's weird, all weird.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
All right, well, we didn't hit 2 hours. Let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. Hilary, thank you so much for joining us another week.
Thanks for letting me come on. It was fun.
Yeah. What do you have for the people?
I don't have anything going on right. Oh, I am. Friday night I'm going to do my comedy again, and then next Tuesday I'm going to stand up. Cheers! I'll do Cheers on 59th and Bell, and then on Tuesday I'm going to do stand up live. So
Cheers! Cheers on 59th and Bell.
Where's stand up
live? That's downtown Phoenix.
Yeah, downtown, or I think it might be the one at Westgate. That's not the stand up live.
Yeah, there's one out there too.
Yeah, there's one at Westgate too. They have a lot of open mics in Arizona.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody watching, you can catch her Friday on 59th, and you said Bell? 59th Street and Bell
Avenue. I'm on the west side.
Out west. Way out west.
What is that thing?
Way out west.
I can't stand you.
She said, I'm out west, way out west.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
KP, what you got for the people?
Oh, what's going on, my people? Like, subscribe. Thank you for joining. Oak, my guy. Love you. Thank you for hopping on today and commenting. Appreciate you, my dude. Oak is my boy, and he's always got something funny to say. So I appreciate you, Oak, for hopping on. Chuck Thirst, appreciate you. Weird last name, but nonetheless, I like it. Geneva, appreciate you. I think your friend Cynthia hopped on. Appreciate you too for hopping on. Like, subscribe. Hilary, thank you so much for hopping on again. Short notice. Appreciate you as well. It's always a pleasure. Hope to see some more of you as well. And thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys. Keep coming every single Wednesday. 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe. And you can follow me if you want.
And you can follow Hilary.
I copied KP.
Hilary with 1 space L space not 2. Chuck said my last name is Thruston.
Thurston Thruston. Okay.
Okay.
You should have thought of another job, my friend.
A nice porn name.
I wish I had a hard name that I could just turn into like
a
Thurston and a Thirst. Yeah, I wish I could turn it like I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Not with Perkins. No,
Perkins.
But yeah, I appreciate Hilary for reaching out and jumping in today. Thank you so much for making the time to hang out with us again on a Wednesday. I know you probably have better things to do today, but you here with us, so we appreciate it.
I really don't. I'm just kidding. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys keep getting me on again.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate it. KP, always, you my guy. I appreciate you being on and ready every Wednesday, like clockwork.
Yep.
Everybody like and subscribe, share. Everybody who commented in the chat. Chuck, he's popping his Carolina. I don't know why he's doing that, but Chuck, my guy Chuck, popping in. Like I said, the #1 realtor in Arizona. Holler at Chuck Thurston if you need a house sold or purchased. That's you got to go to. Geneva. Who else we got? Crystal. Jojo checked in. Felix checked in. We didn't hear from Nick today. Nick didn't hop on today.
He's in Barcelona.
Oh, okay. We got Oak. Oak checked in with us. Thank you so much for checking in. But everybody who stopped by to hang out with us tonight, even if it was just for a little bit, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. We're gonna do it again next week.
Who's that one? That one girl that chimed in too, who you said maybe hop on.
The other one in 2 weeks.
Amy Lewis or Low or
Vicky. Yeah, Vicky Clark is hopefully we're gonna get her on in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for hopping in. She is a flight attendant. I'm sure she has got some crazy stories that she could share with us on the pod. So that's gonna go hard. That episode gonna go crazy.
That's on my list.
Huh?
I said that's on my list. The Mile High Club is on my list. Or I want to get some dome.
Mile High?
Yeah, the Mile High it's on my list of things to do before I leave this earth.
We don't even feel it.
You want to fly Spirit, and you know.
I can't stand you. You got to
bring
it.
Dudes our size don't even fit in them.
Listen, there's criteria. You got to give me a burger first. You got to feed me first, and then
and they do not have In-N-Out on the plane.
I'm gonna feed you some meat. It just won't be.
I'm hungry. I don't eat all that. I'm hungry.
He said it may not be a smash burger.
It'll be a tube steak for you.
Steak and underwear.
But yeah, we go we gonna see y'all next week. We love everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Like, subscribe, share. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Next Wednesday.